Diokere. What did you hear? No, what did you hear? That was not what I said. I know what I said. Diokere Oshaki land in Oyo State. Let's try. Dr. Abdullahi Awelenje, the mortgagee of the Awelenje family and father figure of the author. Did I get that right? Clap for me. I'm doing a good work here. Also here with us is the uncle and father figure of the author, Alhaji Ghazal Ibiemi. Put your hands together for him. The author's older sibling, Pastor Bamidele Akerele. Is he here with us? You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, we know him, you know him, we love him, we all love him. He's the director, Complete Communications Limited, and proprietor, Eagle 7 Sports Radio. The one, the only mathematical, Chief Segun Odegbami, Monolly. We have a member board of trustees, the University of Lagos Muslim alumni, Alhaji Lekon Bello. Is he here with us? Let's put our hands for him, please. I believe as we progress, we'll be getting them. The principal partner, AU Mustafa and Co., legal practitioners, who is the author's in-law, is also here with us. AU Mustafa SAN. I perceive you're also his lawyer. Better discount today, Grandma. That one. Principal partner AA Ismail and Co., legal practitioners, who's also the author's in-law, Barrister Abdul Wahid Ismail. Thank you for coming through. I believe as we progress, because I see a few other names, here are some of our guests of honor, and she's here already. We call her Mama Sports. Ladies and gentlemen, the indefatigable executive committee member, Nigeria Football Federation, Miss Aisha Falode. This is one of the hardest work to do as an MC, by the way, because you're always worried, you don't want to miss a name, you don't want to, but I believe as we progress, everything will get in place. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to also recognize one of the most astute sports administrator in the country, former president of the Nigeria Football Federation and FIFA Council member, the erudite and enigmatic Mr. Amaju Melvin Pinnick. I believe we will pause here, and as we progress, we will do more introductions as our guest comes through. I see some of our footballers also coming in. Ladies and gentlemen, the headmaster Mutiu Adepoju. Our dear goalkeeper Joseph Dosu. Emmanuel Etim is somewhere here. Etim Essin, I beg your pardon. Etim Essin, the Maradona himself. And of course, footballer turned administrator Dominic Yofa is also here with us. And like I said, as the event continues, we will do more introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I would like to invite to the podium for the chairman's opening remarks. He's got the Midas touch at this point in time. Under his watch, our ladies have made us proud as we've had the Super Falcons attain their 10th Women Africa Cup of Nations title. This is where you clap. Women, support the women. And not just that, under his watch, in just a couple of weeks, we saw the Tigress, our basketball ladies, also achieve greatness as they won for the first time. The first African nation to win 5 Afrobasket title consecutively. At this point in time, Malan Show has got to point the way to us. You must cut soap for some of us. how this is working under your tenure. Please, let's put our hands together for our chairman, Malam Shehu Diko. Yes, it seems we will want you up here.
Thank you very much. I think in view of time, I will stand on already established protocols as excellently done by the MC. I'm clearly honored and privileged to stand here to share this important and glorious occasion in our sporting history. And I don't think it is just because, maybe to me, it's not just because I'm the chairman of the National Sports Commission. I believe there are other people that the author could have called to share the occasion. What many people don't know, probably I stand here today as the chairman of the Sports Commission with the huge, huge contribution of the author. Many people don't know. Many people don't know our special relationship with him. That is why when he approached me like about 6 months ago or thereabout and asked that he's going to do this event, and Chairman, I want you to be there and please block your diary. These are the possible dates. I clearly promised that I would do that. Even though at this moment the event have clashed with an international event where my entire team are somewhere trying to work for Nigeria, I had to make effort to be here. This is because of the huge, huge respect and unique bond between us. And let me tell you the story. Many people know me as a professional quantity surveyor, started in Lagos as a trainee quantity surveyor in 1988, doing my own thing. But sports and football have always been in me, right from childhood. Even when I was growing up, I was the one having the kids in my house. I was the one having the club meetings. I was basically the general manager of the teams or whatever we are doing. So I've always been passionate about it. So as I'm growing in my profession, I started with my friends. We have a football club. We are owning clubs. We are playing in the leagues and so many things. But we are doing it as a private party. Not much interest about it. Then sometime in 2002, reading Mumini's column, he made a comment on how to restructure a Nigerian domestic league or football and how to make it better. And I was sitting in my office that year, and because I always read the columns every week, and I decided, I went to my computer, I started typing my suggestion, my idea, my strategy paper and everything. Then there was no mobile phones and stuff. So I just sent to Mumini Alao's email that document. A week later, on my way to work, because I normally buy newspapers from the vendor, and he knew that I have to buy the sports paper, the guy was opening the paper and showing me, look at your name here, look at your name here. Okay, what's happening? Everybody was calling me, what's happening? I think for the first time in the history of his column, Mumini Alao now decided on that particular day to cede his column to me. Not just as somebody, not just to publish what I wrote, but he actually titled the headline of the column, Shehu Adamu Diko. That was a bold headline in Complete Sports. That was 2002. And he put exactly what I suggested. And his comment was that, look, it's not really just that those that think they are part of the inside who are running the sports that knows this sports very well. There are many people outside who are doing other things, who knows how to do it and can also do it well. So we encourage them to come and be part of it. That was, I remember, part of the comment he put in the opening paragraph before he published my article. And that article, I said, is a game changer. Because that year, if you all remember, President Obasanjo was trying to push Aliko Dangote to come and be the president of the NFF, 2002, 2003. And my brother is his friend and everything, and that column was on his table. That, look, if you become the NFF president, this is what you should do, blah, 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 blah. And eventually he couldn't do it, and Galadima came on board. Galadima also ran with what I wrote in that column. And Galadima called me, and I become one of his main people throughout his tenure. And that's the beginning of where we are and how we ended up here today. I grew from that passionate person that sent a column to his column, and he published it to do that, to now running the league, being in FIFA, being in CAF, being everywhere. Every time I move forward, I always call him and say, it's your work to do that. And what baffled me most in all
Some of you know of my footballing prowess. That's why I said some. Those who are laughing are my frenemies. Anyway, so what happened? So they were playing, and I got there, it was a Sunday, and I stood by the side of the pitch watching them play, and somebody laid a pass to the striker. As the pass got there, it looked like a goal that was going to happen. And then somebody responded, Fashola Masono, oh Masono, koni score. And true to word, he missed it. I say, who is this Fashola that is missing a clear goal? They created another one. He said, Mawu, Omamise. And he did an Ayegbeni right there and then. 3 times he missed it. Every time the ball got to him, somebody would say, Fashola Mamise. I didn't know he would end up becoming my governor. I wouldn't know, maybe that's why I ended up not joining them. Because I felt like I can't be making passes to this man and he's missing all the goals. But in any case, I am being inundated now of his attacking prowess by my colleague, Mike Mayaki. I say the way he bangs in goals nowadays, I say, I wanted to join you that time, but he was missing too many goals. That's why I did not join the club. Your Excellency, is it possible to still join? I feel this is a good time to join now. Now I hear you are scoring a lot of goals. All right. I would like to invite Malam Sheudiko back up again to conclude his opening remarks. Thank you for your patience.
Well, apologies on behalf of the organizers for the little glitch. It's part of us, and I'm sure we will learn to do better next time. As I was saying, that was 2002. That happened. That article ended up being the article of the year for Complete Sport, was voted that. But the good thing about it is that when Mumini published that, it doesn't know me. We have never met, we have never spoken, and we couldn't get to speak until a couple of years later. And until today, Oga Mumini have never asked me for any favor until the favor to come here today. That shows us the character and the credibility and the, reliability. I don't know how to describe him or the person that we are here to honor here today by launching his autobiography. The only time he called me is when I'm doing a job. He wants to give me advice on how to do it better or make a suggestion on how to get it done better. Even 2 weeks ago, we had I don't know how many hours meeting we had at the Echo Hotel. Still discussion is about how to get things done properly, how to get things better, and how to get Nigerian sports to do better. And I believe that is why we are still the kind of people that will arrive here today to support what he's doing. Because he gave me the opportunity to go through the book, and I think it's a brilliant, brilliant book. I'm not the reviewer, but I'm so passionate about it. He sent it to me for a couple of weeks. I haven't opened it up until yesterday. And since I started reading it, I haven't dropped until when I'm entering, get into this hall. Because it was so concise, it was straight to the point, it doesn't bore you with so much grammar, it's just direct to the issues, and it captivates you and kept you wanting to go forward and forward and forward. And I learned so much in what I've read, which I think the younger ones that are coming in the media and what have you should be able to read this book and understand what it is. That's what is called passion. All of us that are in sports, that we want to grow it, the number one credentials for us, if you want to be involved, is our passion, which means we are going to do a job which naturally we could do for free, but we can be paid by doing it. That's the only way that we can make it work better and passionately well. He has shown with his colleagues, I think Shegun Wadebami appeared severally on the book, and SO and everybody. They have shown kind of resilience, kind of passion, which I think will typify typical Nigerian environment of doing business, the high and the lows, but the perseverance to continue doing in what you believe in and to continue pushing it with the same dedication and passion. At the end of the day, the final outcome will be very, very positive. And I think this book will be eternal. People will be reading it long after we have left this world. People will be reading it and be making reference to it and learning how to run their business, not just in sports writing or sports publishing, in all businesses, because I've learned from what I've read, the sports writing, the perseverance, how to run the business, how to make sure the business works, how to go back and be humble and recalibrate your business to the next level, even when it's not working the right way for you. It is all in what Mumini have tried to put in this autobiography that I think we should all learn to do that. So I'm quite happy and delighted to be here. And even the topic that we are, the discussant we discussed today, still aligns what we are trying to do at the moment, restructuring and resetting Nigerian sport. That is, we are rethinking how now to recalibrate the business of sports in Nigeria using football as a benchmark, which is exactly what we are trying to do. And I'm sure our former governor, our former minister, elder brother will do justice to that, and we will learn a lot with that. So, Oga Mumini, congratulations for this. And I think you should not end from here. You should also write many, many other books that would give us more insights to how things are done properly and how other upcoming journalists and media practitioners will practice. One thing you said, I've seen it there, that the credibility is that you have never asked a favor from anybody in your media career as you are progressing, which is exactly what I've testified to that, because I have tried everything to make you a close friend and to do things. You always want to make it professional, want to make it in the line of duty, want to make it in the line of progress. Congratulations and well done for a very good job, and I hope we'll come back very time soon to launch another book again from your own experience so that we can all keep it together for those that are coming after us. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman, National Sports Commission, Malam Shehu Diko, thank you for those very kind words, lovely thoughts also, and good to know that there's been some form of history between you and the author for tonight. I'd like to quickly recognize a few persons here also. The Chief Operating Officer of the African Table Tennis Federation, Dr. Kweku Tando. Please can we put our hands together for him? We also have here with us the Director General, Lagos State Sports Commission, Mr. Lekan Fatodu. You're very much welcome. I believe we also have some Super Falcons legend in our midst, former captain, four-time WAFCON champions, Desire Okparanoze. How you doing? More recognition will continue, but we need to get things going quickly. At this point P, we would like to have the presentation by our guest speaker. And to run us on the citation for that, please, I'd like us to welcome Mumini Alao, who will be giving us a citation for our presenter, our guest speaker for this evening. Please, let's put our hands together for Mumini Alao. She's a lawyer, I hear. You're welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mumini Alao. Profile of His Excellency, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN. Born on the 28th of June, 1963, in Lagos, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, is a 1987 law graduate of the University of Benin, and after a 14-year stint in private law practice as a litigator, has had a public service career that spanned over 2 decades long. In that period of public service, he has served as Chief of Staff and Commissioner in the Lagos State Government, 2-term Governor of Lagos, and in May 2023, and in May 2023, meritoriously concluded serving a second term as Minister of the Federal Government, having first been appointed in 2015 and reappointed in 2019. Babatunde Fashola was called to the Nigerian bar in November 1988. His career as a barrister and solicitor started in the law firm of Sofunde, Osakwe, Ogundipe, and Bagori, where he engaged in general litigation over diverse areas of law in our magistracy, high courts, appeal courts, and the Supreme Court of Nigeria. As an advocate, Mr. Fashola has distinguished himself. In August 2004, he was confirmed with the rank of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN. Nigeria's highest legal distinction. He is the first member of the law school class of 1988 to take the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria. And the second University of Benin Faculty of Law graduate to be so honored. As a public servant, he has served with no less distinction and dedication, and has been acknowledged locally and internationally for his dedication and service. Mr. Babatunde Fashola, SAN, is a recipient of the prestigious Stephen J. Solars Award of the International Crisis Group in 2015 for his commitment to building a peace and vibrant society. His work to improve social and economic conditions in Lagos, including his role in preventing the Ebola outbreak and becoming a crisis in Nigeria. He was listed in the 2014 as one of the 100 top global thinkers for 2013 by a global personality assessment organization, Lo Spazio della Politica, that's LSDP, based in Italy and Brussels. Time magazine has commended him for the overhaul of Lagos infrastructure. While the Economist magazine acknowledged him as a rare good man and a governor who does his job well. Mr. Fashola, SAN, is a patron, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, CIA, member, Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, member, International Bar Association, IBA, fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation, Nigeria, CITN, Notary Public of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, is married to Dame Emanuela Abimbola Fashola, and they are blessed with children. Please permit me the honor to invite on stage His Excellency, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think that everybody is here. Moses has done and continues to do a wonderful job of recognizing all of us, so I won't go there. He's welcome to come and join All Stars, but we now play walking soccer. And just to tell him that at the time he thought that I was not scoring, he was watching black and white TV. But seriously, everybody's here, and this is an awesome convening power by Mumini Alao, and nobody else could have convened this. I got my notification almost 6 months to this day as well, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to be here to share my thoughts about something I am obviously very passionate about. But time is fast spent. So when I got here at 1, I asked him if he would let me go at 2:30, and he said yes. When I asked him how long I was speaking for, about 2 months ago, he said 45 minutes to 1 hour. If you do the calculations now, 2:30 is no longer practical. But I'll try and keep this. It's long, and I don't intend to bore you. I already have a copy of the book, but I think I must start by thanking him for giving me this very, very important platform to speak about this subject very much after my heart, sports generally and football in particular. He also did me another favor because the subject was football focused, and I said, can you allow me to make it sports focused? Because if sports thrives, football will thrive. And he said yes. So I will start by just saying that over the last few years, I've tried to develop a document around which I hope that we will create a brain trust to unlock what I think are the limitless possibilities that sports can bring to us as a people. I must confess that the work is unfinished, but when this subject came up, I thought that, look, this thing that you've been doing for about 4 or 5 years, begin to share some of it, even if you can't finish it. So that's why I chose the subject. And so, why sports? And my answer is simple. Why not sports? And why not now? Let us start with the timing about why now. My view is that in the history of human civilization, there's probably no time like now that talent is being rewarded on an unprecedented scale. Please just process that. Think about the history of human civilization. At what time has talent been rewarded like this? So this is the time. Many of those whose talent is receiving reward and recognition today were not those who did the hard work. So we are in a most auspicious time. So that is one about talent. And if we think that we have seen reward, we have seen nothing yet. It's just about to start. So I told the gentleman next to me, we were talking about Segun Odegbami, one of our Sunday brunches, and I said that was Nigeria's most celebrated football player ever. Most celebrated. And very few matches were televised live then, but if you went to either the Liberty Stadium to watch him or the National Stadium, the stadium would have been full by 10 a.m. for a 4 p.m. match. And when he swaggered in behind the team, you will hear the talking drums singing Odegbami Kabo, Sheda Da Lode, Ati Reti Re. Look, so, but here is, he didn't make the millions per week, the hundreds of thousands per week, but people like him and those before him broke their backs to create today. But there's a bigger tomorrow. There's a bigger tomorrow, and it is about that tomorrow that I speak. So whether it is talent in photography, in music, arts, movie making, or any other form of creative or entertaining work, the world has changed dramatically. And sports as an expression of talent has come to be in the vanguard of those high-value earning careers. This was unthinkable 1 generation or 2 generations ago. 1 generation ago, 2 generations ago, sports was a hobby. It was for those who did not do well or who were not likely to do well. But the world has changed. Sportsmen and sportswomen are earning incomes and living lives of luxury that once used to be the preserve of the traditional professions of medicine, law, architecture, engineering, and the like. At that time, sports was just a hobby at the very best. So, and I think it's important that we process that. My argument is that the thinking that must therefore change by everyone in this assembly, because this is a powerful assembly. Everybody is here. The thinking that must change is that yesterday's hobbies and yesterday's part-time engagements have become full-time, well-paid professions in today's emerging global economic order. Let's just remember that. If you remember nothing after this interaction, yesterday's hobbies have become full-time professions and they are being well-paid, and the global economic order is changing. These professions are creating a vast pathway to a meaningful life for people who would otherwise have lived on the margins of society. That's pushed them to the top of the pyramid. And these new breed professionals are now hiring accountants, they're hiring lawyers, they're hiring architects to build their houses and so much more. You see how this, and I think all of us who have a voice in this nation must remember this as we go forward. It's a momentum change. And this breed of professionals are now the new employers of the traditional professions. And they are also entertaining them at the same time. So, the old economic order of jobs and careers has given way to a new global economic order. And I say that this major shift in economic balance has become more important because it employs mainly young people from their teenage years. We are now seeing some of them pushing the boundaries to playing up to 40 or performing beyond 40. But the focus is that this is a young people's profession. It has no role for people who are older. If Shegun wanted to play now, he couldn't. In fact, the last time we had a discussion, almost 2 decades ago, and I said, Big Sheg, you don't come again. He said, Tunde, my knees can't support me anymore. So, but why is that important? It is important because when I reflect on the Nigerian problem of youth unemployment, I tell myself that that problem persists only for one reason. We have been ignoring the solution. Youth unemployment is a problem because we are ignoring the solution. And it seems clear to me that one of the major solutions for youth unemployment is hiding in plain sight. And we are walking past it. And it is simply this: sports development. That's the answer. So, if we reflect on the number of people that music, film, fashion, and photography is now employing, and we reflect on the possibilities that lie in sports, it will be clear what we have missed. So, I do a quick example of Mumini Alao and sports-based employment. Complete Sports and Complete Football has provided him a career that lasted over 3 decades, and many more who worked in that one company. So can you imagine what would have happened if there were 100 such companies. But that was only in the print. What about the electronic media? How many dedicated sports broadcast channels have NBC licensed, and how many are operating? How many? So, I just got to know about a few this morning, but the one that stuck in my mind was Larry Zamoje's Brilla Sports on radio. How many have followed then, and how many are still running? And I always do this test for people because I tell you I'm passionate about this. When we're watching TV, I say just hold on. Let's just look at the jobs we are missing. So I run DSTV from channel 200 to 215. So when you count them, it's 15 dedicated sports channels. Okay? But who owns them? They are not ours. They're not Nigerian. But look at the number of reporters, cameramen, scriptwriters, producers. Those are the jobs that we're walking past. And we are complaining that we will have youth unemployment. That is the centrality of my message here. Sports is one of the answers. But that is not the story. Those are simply businesses that support sports. They are not sports itself. But just think about the number of jobs that are behind Sky Sports News, ESPN, DAZN, beIN Sports, Fox Sports. And if we could create ours in multiples, but if we dimension the sports-related, directly related jobs, let's just look very quickly at, if you do the numbers, you can do your search engine on Google and see how many jobs the Premier League is supporting. Before Manchester United started cutting its staff strength by about 250 people, they were employing 1,100 people, one football club. So if we just use an average of even 500 as a benchmark in the Premier League, that times 20 teams employing 500 people, it's 10,000 jobs. And who are these people? Young people. And if you Google the types of sports-related jobs, coaches, scouts, psychologists, nutritionists, physiotherapists, the list is almost endless. There's a new job career that has emerged, lifestyle agents. What do? Eti Messin has just relocated with his family from Enugu to Onitsha, and he's not going to be bothered about where they are going to live, which school his children are going to go. That's a lifestyle agent and his wife going to sort that out. It's a job, and it's a full-time paying job. And the list, I say, is endless. And, we now see the kind of incomes, and I read some of the stories when they calculate what Osimhen just got contract, then they calculate it into billions. But there's a young lady who started playing tennis. She's not Nigerian, unfortunately. 5 years ago, she has earned $24 million in prize money, and she's just 21. I've gone back to an old pastime of mine, snooker. And people will be surprised what used to just be a small barroom pool hobby, post-work hobby, is now a full-time profession across the world. The average snooker player now earns between £200,000 to £1 million a year. They are playing snooker now in Saudi Arabia as we speak. There's a Masters tournament going on there. But these are only snippets of what is possible. And what then must we do? And I believe this is what Mumini Alao wants us to discuss. What should we do? Why are we here? I have opened the window into the why. Now let me proceed to share some of my thoughts about the how. First and foremost, I believe that we must embrace sports as part of our national development plan. That is the first big step. So in my time as minister between 2015 and 2023, I remember in 2016 when the economy went into recession and we were trying to develop the economic recovery and growth plan. They brought the plan to council and the parliament was waiting for it so that they could pass it into law. And I raised my hand to speak, and President Buhari said, yes, what is it? As he was wont to say. And I said, something is missing in this recovery and growth plan. He said, what is it? I said, sports. And the council went pin silent. So I made my case, and I said, apart from infrastructure, apart from agriculture, apart from transport, energy, and those usual suspects, sports must be one of the pillars of our national development. To some of my colleagues, it sounded like heresy, or at best an oversimplification of a very serious issue. I must say that in that meeting, I was unsuccessful because we could not go back to rework the sports plan to fit into that document, and the National Assembly was saying, you are delaying us. So I held my peace. Thankfully, when we were supposed to do the 2021-2025 National Development Plan, I'm pleased to say that I later succeeded to elevate sports into an economic pedestal for job creation and empowerment. And this is most important, but this is not the first time that it has happened in Nigeria. And this is the sweetest part of my intervention. We have done it before. And I will tell you shortly. I will get there as quickly as I can. But having put sports in our national development plan, it is necessary to take many more steps. You know, I was telling you about something I was developing. But let me just highlight some of those steps very quickly. The first one, and I think this assembly can do that one, or start it. No one can own this thing. It's an all-of-a-nation effort. But I think this assembly can start it. The first is to create an all-of-country awareness. All-of-country awareness. Using every media portal possible, that as a people, we are committed to optimizing the enormous possibilities of sports, not just as an entertainment, but as a business and as a profession. Can we start that after this meeting? Everybody who is in the media, just Nigeria is doing sports for business, for development, and for professionalism. It is important. It sends the most compelling message of our readiness. The second thing I think we must do, we must develop the manpower capacity for training talent, nurturing talent, optimizing their potential into positive outcomes. That's also job creation. This will involve a full review of our education curriculum from primary school through secondary schools, polytechnics, and universities. It will involve the National Union of Teachers, through especially the physical education teachers. It will involve the Association of Nigerian Principals. It will involve the National Universities Commission to develop faculties for specializing in sports education in universities where they do not already exist. I remain mindful of cadet and amateur sports as distinct from professional sports and how they can feed into each other but this platform does not allow me to go into much detail. Whilst I was preparing this, I did a very quick search about the number of physical education teachers that exist in Lagos. The records suggest that there are 747 of them in 406 schools. And they have specialties with degrees in subjects such as BSc education, in human kinetics, in physical education, and in health education. But this is the foundation in the schools. Thirdly, whilst we are building manpower, we must commit to the infrastructure by integrating our transport services to venues like stadiums and other sporting arenas. They must connect. They must lead to those destinations as a conscious plan. In some places, we must also audit, and this will now require us to audit the existing facilities. A national audit. What do we have everywhere? And as we are doing this, we keep the records and the road network that is nearest to it. So if there is work to be done, let's fix it. If there is a rail network that connects to it, let's fix it. In some places, only minimum upgrades will be required. In some other places, it may be extensive reconstruction. And I can share an example. You will observe that in front of Teslim Balogun Stadium, there is a BRT bus stop there. It was not in the master plan. But as we were preparing to host the Under-17 World Cup of 2010, it then occurred to us that, wait a minute, the nearest stop to this place was further away. So we had to create that BRT stop so that we could create a walking distance to the stadium. But what it did for us was to teach us to think ahead. So if you look at the Blue Line station today, it is somewhere between CMS bus stop and the State House in Marina. It was deliberate. We wanted to create the nearest walking distance to Onikon Stadium. And these are just very, very modest beginnings of the kind of integration that we must begin to do. To do this, so many people will be involved. I can think of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. I can think of the National Society of Engineers. I can think of the Architects Registration Council of Nigeria and other people in the built environment. This is why I said it is an all-of-nation commitment. And of course, we must recognize that we must start to modify in the medium term existing facilities as we build new ones. And they must become multi-purpose. They must have places for children. They must have places for spouses who are not interested in sports. There must be places where families can gather, eat breakfast and eat lunch, or buy and take away after the event. This is how you bring people back. It must be a whole family thing. And Amaju Pinnick will know this better than anybody. FIFA is favoring now more community-based stadia. Not those 70,000, 100,000. So in community, so that there's ownership, 15,000, 20,000. Those are the places. Now, if you are bidding for a major tournament, now you're going to bring those out-of-town stadia, you are likely to lose. And if we are to bring these people to the arenas, they must feel safe. Not only to come, but as I said, to bring their families, and therefore, safety and security is non-negotiable. I have tried to persuade my wife to follow me to the stadium. Once again, she will not. You want to hear what happened? Our first son was barely 1.5 when we hosted, I don't know what year it is, that tournament under 21 that Xavi, Iniesta. So I said, let's go and watch good football. So we carried our little son, parked at Alaka petrol station, walked to the stadium. Everything was fine. Immediately we finished the game and we were strolling as a happy family. We just had bottles breaking. Machetes out. So I told my wife, start running. So I grabbed our boy. So anytime I say I'm going to say, go by yourself. I'm not going with you. So I also speak from some place of experience. Families must feel safe. And security must be non-negotiable. If we are going to create a special corps of law enforcement persons to be dedicated to all our sporting centers, so be it. Again, we will require people who have expertise, because large crowds are perfect targets for terrorists. And you don't want to know, those who know what it takes to host a Premier League match. A Manchester United game was cancelled one day because they found a toolkit that was unaccounted for in the bathroom. People were on their way. They had to cancel it because the policemen couldn't certify the stadium as safe. They cancelled the match. Many of us might remember that when the Queen of England died recently, many matches were postponed. You know why? They were planning her funeral. There were so many dignitaries coming in. They didn't have enough policemen to man the centers. And so they postponed a few games. So it's serious. The protocol for securing a stadium on match day, in some places it starts the night before. In some other places it starts as early as 6 a.m. So when we saunter in, some people have come to do their work. The IED experts, everybody. So it's serious business. But again, it's jobs. As we are going on. I say the fifth thing I think we must do, and this I address to the NSC. Adeojo Kere has spoken about this in some of his back page columns, is that we must bring about proper governance. DG, Chairman, governance. Governance. We must develop a clear calendar, regulations that must be enforced, and perhaps develop our own sports arbitration and dispute resolution mechanism on a local basis. And all of these must be of such high integrity and acceptance. I have dealt with 4 things, and the 5th one I have mentioned, which is governance, is perhaps the most challenging of all, because it depends more than the others on the character of the people who govern the institutions. It's reputational. One bad egg will ruin a lot of things. There must be no room in this space for tardiness, no room for sloppiness or uncertainty. Everybody in the industry must know where they stand at all times. We will probably need new laws by the national and state houses of assemblies. The Bar Association will be critical. The Nigerian Bar Association will be critical in this regard in suggesting reforms about laws. The National Sports Commission and the National Institute of Sports will now have to sit down to prepare a national calendar of sports, of how local government and school sports will fit into National Sports Festival to produce talents for the All-African Games, which will feed into the Commonwealth Games and which will lead to the Olympics and to the World Cup respectively without clashing. This is hard work. I don't pretend that it is easy. When I was in school, we used to play local government games. I used to play then in the Shomolu local government. Each local government had a festival, but it was choreographed to fit into the national sports and into international sports. And this is important. This is the bedrock of all of what we want to do. I said, for example, that there must be no doubt about when the National Premier League will start, because there will be no room for ad hoc stoppages. I'm glad to note that the league fixtures are out, and that is commendable. And it is these plans that enable corporations, investors, and stakeholders to make investment decisions. Now, the whole of Europe is in summer. And if you look across Europe today, what you will see are young boys, young girls, young men and women traveling from one district to the other, traveling from one country to another in high school cadet sports all over Europe before the winter season started. What is our national plan for the long holiday? Did we put one in place this year? But if this year has been ad hoc, what can we do between now and the next July, August of next year? Because this is one good way to keep young people away from crime. The sixth thing I think we should do is for the government at the federal and state and local governments to collaborate in an enabling way. I think the time has come for fiscal and monetary policy tools such as tax credits, imports and custom duties, exemptions and concessions, which must be designed to stimulate investment in sports, for construction, for equipment, and for sponsorship. The seventh thing I think we should do is to engage in sports diplomacy. There are places where we can clearly learn from the experience of others. What are the Caribbean nations doing? Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, that are hauling all of the medals in the short sprints. Can we have exchange programs? Can we bring some of their trainers here? We have done all of this before. But we need to become deliberate, dedicated, and decisive to go back to the template. Eighth, maybe there's a question in the room that is not yet verbalized. And I guess that question is, where will the money come from? Because there's always money involved. My answer is that we must develop a plan. We must develop programs that can be funded before we start losing sleep about funds. Almost too often, I think that we agonize about funding without paying attention to planning. I believe that if there is a good plan, funding will follow. And I cite the example of the Club 400. Is there anybody in the room who remembers the Club 400? Dominic Okpakunle. There was a Club 400 in Nigeria, and I will get there. Because all of what I'm saying, we have done before. But in terms of planning a calendar, I can only refer to our dear Lagos, what we tried to do back then, to create a calendar for school sports from March to June and from July to December. At least we had that up until 2015. Over sports like tennis, table tennis, squash, swimming, Scrabble, the Governor's Lawn Tennis Club, and the climax used to be at Roe Park every December 26th for the Governor's Belt for boxing. And I attended as many of them as I could. These events were coordinated by many dedicated men and women. And I use this opportunity to say a big thank you to all of them. There were people like Eniton Oshodi, Wale Edun, late Prince Ademola Adeniji Adele, Deji Wellington, Kweku Tando, Chief Pius Akinyelure, Wale Oladunjoye, Engineer Folabi Salami, His Royal Majesty Obagbola Lawal Oniru, Mr. Babatunde Williams, Dr. Nino Adeniji, Ms. Tayo Popola, and so many others who time will not permit me, but through them I say thank you. But why are they important? Because of what they did, planned and organized sports. They revived the interest of old sponsors like Chief Razak Okoya, Molade Okoya Thomas. FCMB, new sponsors came. FCMB, Etisalat, Julius Berger. And so, what is the case? If we make a good plan and we calendarize, corporate sponsors in their budgeting and planning will see what is ahead and they will come. So let me now pivot back to history to demonstrate that what I have laid out as a sketch of a pathway to sports development has been done before. I'm going back to history now. We've done this before. And we can only improve on it. Anybody who is familiar with Nigerian sports will remember the name of Major General Henry Edmund Olufemi Adefokwe. Does that name ring a bell? Those in favor say aye. Some people are too young to remember that name. A few years ago, a posthumous biography of him was published, and I asked for and got a copy, although I could not attend the event because of pressure of work. The book is a treasure trove of how sports was used to unify Nigeria post-war and how it became a driver of national prestige and development. So when I was writing this piece, I didn't remember that book. I had not read it at the time, interestingly, so I went and grabbed it. And I just said, there must be something about sports. It was Adefokwe sports. It was the euphemism. And lo and behold, when I opened chapter 7, it was sports. So I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to read from some of the excerpts. Interestingly, that was when I realized that Chief Anthony Enahoro was not just Commissioner for Information and Culture. He was a commissioner oversighting sports. Because at that time, there was no sports ministry, just like today. At that time, Diko was Adefokwe. Today, Adefokwe is Diko. So, let me just read some of them. And this is Chief Enahoro inaugurating the Sports Commission. When Major General Henry Adefokwe was appointed as head of Nigerian Sports Council, it started as Sports Council in 1967. The body was not more than a mere appendage of a government sector. But as time went on, his role was expanded under a new name known as the National Sports Commission, which was inaugurated in the early 1970s. The National Sports Council was reorganized in 1971 under Decree number 34 of the federal government to be known as the National Sports Commission as a way of putting together formidable machineries for the hosting of the second All-Africa Games and for the continuous development of the country's sports in the future. They had just about building the national stadium. They built that stadium in 1 year. The Federal Commissioner for Information and Labor, with special responsibility for sports, Chief Enahoro, announced this officially during a press conference on the 14th of August. According to him, quote, a 53-member National Sports Commission body has been established by the federal government to encourage and develop sports and games throughout Nigeria. Chief Enahoro himself was a good sportsman who used to play cricket during his days at King's College, Lagos. The following are excerpts from the text of Enahoro's speech while inaugurating the National Sports Commission. Quote, Mr. Chairman and members of the National Sports Commission, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you here on this historic occasion of the inauguration of the National Sports Commission, which I, Enahoro, hoped will open up a new chapter in the annals of sports in this country. I am particularly delighted to welcome you. Since then, and it goes on, it will be true that the country's expectations have not been realized for various reasons. As I've had occasions to say elsewhere, the reasons include unsatisfactory, blah, 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 and this is not important. Says, Mr. Chairman, we all know the state of affairs in sports in Nigeria, and I will not bore you with a catalogue of disappointments, our failures, or our shortcomings. Does that resonate like today? But he then said, back then, that's why I said we've done it before. He said, it is sufficient to say that in recognition of the need to remedy the situation and in pursuit of the nation's ardent desires, the federal government has decided to establish a coordinating body vested with sufficient powers to give central direction to ensure effectiveness in planning and organizing sports and sports facilities throughout the country. Given this background of this need and desire, what are your functions and what does the nation expect of you? Your functions are accordingly set out in Section 3 of Decree 34, under which this commission is established. They are: 1, to encourage the development and organization and participation of sports in Nigeria. This was the federal government now speaking. You see, I said we've done it before. To coordinate and integrate efforts to raise the standard of performance in sports in Nigeria. To make, on behalf of states, sports councils, necessary arrangements for competition, for technical assistance, for recruitment of coaches, and for any such matters as the Commission may deem fit to make. To promote, in cooperation with other sport bodies or sports groups, the physical fitness and general well-being of all persons in Nigeria. To organize or assist financially or otherwise the participation in sports as interstate, national, and international level. To train Nigerians to become sportsmen and instructors in sports. To conduct, and that part was what brought out Patrick Ekeji. They took him abroad. And many like him. But let me not digress. To conduct and encourage research into all matters relating to sports. To provide and maintain sports centers and facilities for the training of Nigerians as instructors in and organizers of sports. To ensure the participation of all sportsmen where required in interstate, national, and international competitions. This is the letter of the law. But if I may express your functions in terms of the people's desire and in terms of the aims and objectives of the federal government, your assignment is to raise the standard of performance in sports in Nigeria, to ensure increase or mass participation in sports for recreation, relaxation, and to encourage an increasing number of children and young people to engage in planned exercise, training, and competitions, to produce performance and performances of world standard, to encourage the systematic and effective development and organization of and participation in sports in Nigeria, to build and extend easily accessible centers of active recreation in sports facilities within the reach of the average Nigerian, as well as to provide healthy diversion and promote leadership training in young people. This is instructive. He then went on to say, we do not expect instant results. Indeed, perhaps what we need is a master plan, which I have spoken about already. So what I am saying today has been done before. What we need is a master plan, a 10-year development and transformation program based on comprehensive and comprehensible policies. If you can produce sound policies and programs, show leadership and dedication, inspire mass participation, and work concertedly to bring about a revolution in sport in Nigeria, you will have done your duty and you will have justified your appointment. Brigadier Adefope responded in an acceptance speech. Let me just highlight just a few and then I will close. The inauguration of the National Sports Commission is concrete evidence of the federal government's determination to promote sports development. So clearly, the chairman now knew that this government is serious. It is the determination of all members to ensure that this goal is achieved. The development of sports in Nigeria does not depend entirely upon sports administrators only. I have said that earlier. That is going to involve a lot of people. And this is what he says. That it also involves the federal and state government. All institutions of learning, which I have referred to, from primary schools to universities, they should have free periods for organized sports in their curricula. So at that time, when we were breaking in school for PE, it was not accidental. It was government mandated. And that was what led to that glorious era of the 70s and 80s. So there was no accident. And it continues that they will continue to assist states and sports council with facilities, and that they had received a sizable subvention from government, which is important. Government puts his money where his mouth is. But it wasn't subvention alone. He now said, the inclusion of the National Sports Commission in Decree number 10 of 1971, so that commercial firms, now this is the funding side, commercial firms can make sizable contributions to the commission and they may benefit from a form of tax relief. I said that. The removal of import duty on all items of sports kits and equipment ordered by the commission. Do we record that happened here? It did. And of course, the provision of training institute to allow training of large numbers of sports organizers and coaches. And he spoke about a lack of national consciousness which every competitor must have in order to exhibit dedication and determination. He said that mass participation in sports, as shown by research, to enhance industrial production results in a virile and healthy nation, and to reduce child and adolescent delinquencies and enhance national prestige. I've spoken about the need for a national calendar during summer to take children away from crime and drugs. Then he spoke about the 400 Club. And let me read that in the later part of his say. And he says, in addition, the managing directors of Barclays Bank, UAC, BAWAC, Dunlop, and these were the giants of Nigeria's corporate environment then. And some influential Nigerians like Chief Gabriel Igbinedion and Alhaji Danladi were members of the club. In its categorization, membership of the club was divided into two levels, namely the executives and the ordinary members. The executives made up of financial members who contributed up to £250, while the ordinary members paid up to £100. At that time, we were spending pounds in Nigeria. For those who are wondering, it's not English pounds, it's Nigerian pounds. While the ordinary members paid up to £100, which could bring the funds of the club to about £40,000 a year. And that was a lot of money. In addition, provisions were then made for members of Club 400 and their family members to watch football matches free of charge in any stadium in Nigeria. All they needed to do was to show their Club 400 badge. This prestige lasted until the time Adefope left office as chairman of the National Sports Commission in 1975. And from that time, perhaps we did not consolidate, but we can go back. Now that we have seen all what has been done, what can be done, and what still needs to be done, how do these general recommendations respond to Mumini Alao's concerns about ownership of football by states and their sustainability? And how do we get the Nigerian spectatorship back into the stadia? So I will answer that question and I'm done. And the first thing I think to say is to just summarize. Modern arenas with multi-purpose functions, I have said it. The biggest advocate of it has been Segun Odegbami in many of his columns. Green pitches. And that's what will bring the advertising panels and the eyes and all of that. And of course, reliable transport services, connectivity is about a destination. If it becomes a horrible experience, people won't go back. And I can tell you about my wife. So that's one. I think that we can create other things. I have in mind, it's not exclusive to other suggestions. If, for example, people's tickets were converted to raffle draws at halftime, and they could win small prizes, laptops, handheld devices, and those kind of things, just incentives to bring people. And nothing is off the table here. But one thing that I would like to be off the table is cash. So those who are innovative and creative about promos can come up about how I know that going to the stadium, I can win a flask with a half-time raffle, whatever. But it's just thing. But of course, the governance and the regulation and planning and calendarization are investment assurances and they are incentives for sponsorship. Without that, we can't even start. Most clubs around the world have supporters with local communities and outside who own parts of the club. The time has come, in my view, for the state government-owned clubs to divest themselves of most or all of their shares, sell them to the public under advice from those who have the expertise in privatization, not for self-serving purposes, but to real business and sports-minded concern and supporters who will have a corporate governance and be subject to audits and to company laws. In an effort to build ownership and by extension followership and support, and ultimately brand identity, existing state-owned clubs must project a brand that people want to identify it, and it varies across board from state to state. There is no state of Nigeria that does not have an identity to project and to promote. This identity will be discernible not from any superficial reasoning. It must be scientifically based. Polls and surveys must be conducted because the ownership is local. What do you want the club to be known as? What do you want to project? So, there's so many identities across Nigeria that we can project into the identity of the club. And that is what first breeds the ownership. The first people in the stadium are the local supporters. And they are the most faithful. So, I just say that the identity will include things like the name, the colors, the prevalent occupation. Luton Football Club, for example, on the outskirts of London there, were known as hatters. The reason is because the famous business of that community was making hats. And so on and so forth. I believe also that financial instruments such as insurance policies and bonds and bank guarantees must come into play. This will be used to ensure that players and staff salaries are guaranteed before each season starts, so that no club is allowed to owe salaries of staff or players. This will require the central bank and other financial institutions to put on their thinking caps. Bankruptcy and liquidation proceedings, which already exist in our laws, must be firmly applied to remove the cancer of failing clubs before they spread and contaminate others. Those who are following the English League will know the story of Morecambe now FC. The owner has essentially run away, refused to agree for a takeover. Staff are waiting, but the jeopardy is that they may not participate in the championship. And there is no sentiment. It's not whether it's Deco's club or it's from Deco State. These are just the guidelines. You don't meet them, you don't play. I recommend a minimum wage to be considered and set. Now I'm being football specific, but it can be that any sportsman who is now a professional, as distinct from amateur sports. I haven't focused too much on amateur sports in this presentation. This is in the other bigger document. But just to say that a minimum wage can be considered, and if agreed, set for those kind of sportsmen, then you can negotiate your wages based on your performances, your skills. If you're a go-getter like Dominic Yofa, then you move from the minimum wage. And if you are the midfield anchor like Etim, well, we'll see whether Yofa will score without Etim's pass. And if the cross does not come, if you are the headmaster who puts it in goal, and the goalkeeper like Dosu can negotiate new wages and say, well, you can score 10 goals. If I concede 11, we have lost. So I have shared my headline thoughts about what I think needs to be done to leverage the waiting opportunities. I have shown from reference to General Adefuekpe's biography that we will not be wading into uncharted territories because what we need to do has already been done before. I will then conclude by summarizing those things just for emphasis, and I talk about not looking for quick wins. This is a program. We are not trying to win the Olympics or the World Cup next year. If we dedicate ourselves to this kind of 10-year plan, those will be consequences of that effort. As they used to tell us in sports, don't focus about winning, focus about playing well. The result will come. I say sports administrators with proven knowledge, personal discipline, who understand that our objective is not to win at all costs, but to win in the end by building something that lasts. The resources we require is there, the large number of people under 30 with talent and energy waiting for us to curate them. Teachers and coaches who must be coordinated for talent scouting and development. The role of architects, builders, and allied professionals to coordinate and integrate all of the infrastructure necessary for the expression of this talent. Health workers of all cadre who must seek the importance of Human Developmental Index through sports and collaborate to develop nutrition, care, support, and deliver the best. Those of us who have been privileged to play abroad know the importance of nutrition. They don't mess with it. You can't go there and be eating pounded yam every day. You are specified to a weight performance. And so we know, I've spoken about the role of lawyers and arbitrators who are required to be trained to update and modernize the laws and regulations and oversee contracts and to ensure unflinching implementation. That's important. Of course, the role of the media in communication, advertising, and all of that. Of course, the need for government to license more sports channels, radio, TV, as a conscious strategy to propagate our readiness to promote sports. And government at the federal level to provide fiscal and possibly monetary policies in support of the development of sports. The possibility to use lottery and betting business that is growing in Nigeria to attract cash, more cash into the funding of sports, but without compromising the integrity of the game. I referenced the existence of about 40 million micro, small, and medium enterprises in Nigeria, and they are in every state. These are businesses that each level of government, local, state, and federal, where they exist, can use as brand identities, give tax incentives, and sponsorship. Listen, I refer to this as a very large asset that each area can leverage. Importantly, I speak of the need to develop a new generation of officials, umpires, referees, of the highest possible integrity. It is sad that a nation that produced the likes of Felix Okubule and the generation he bred, we are no longer at the center stage of football officiating. Although I see that some work is slowly being done there. But it takes time to regain lost trust. I look at Wimbledon today, and I remember that Mrs. Elizabeth Ekong, I don't know those of you who remember her, used to be an official at Wimbledon tennis. Do we have any there? So that is also another layer of careers waiting to be unleashed. Finally, and perhaps most emphatically, we must ensure, amongst other things, that there is absolutely no place at all, for drug use, abuse, or cheating in our sports or in any sports facility in Nigeria. With the global epidemic of drug abuse, the prime objective of our sports program must be to find the best talent and to keep it untainted as it is nurtured to the peak of its most natural ability. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.
Hello, hello. Thank you very, very much. Please, can we keep it going for the former governor of Lagos, His Excellency Babatunde Raji Fashola, SAN, CON, for that very, very in-depth analysis of the issues bedeviling the sports sector and also the resolutions for them. Thank you very much, Supporters Club. We will keep things going very, very quickly now as we head into the unveiling of the book. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Supporters Club. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I see we finally have in our midst His Royal Majesty, Oba Dr. Khalid Oyeni Olabisi Oyedepo III, Diokere of Shakiland, who is ably represented by Omoba Oyewale Oyetunde. Can we please put our hands together for Kabiesi, who is in our midst? So let's get into the can we all have our seats? Can we kindly have our seats very quickly so we can get the proceedings going and round this up very quickly? also welcome the former Vice President of the NFF, Barrister Sheyi Akinwumi. I also see in the building former captain of the Super Eagles, Joseph Yobo, the chairman of the Nigeria Premier Football League, Honorable Benga Elegbele. Great to have everybody here. And also, the darling of our screen, senior colleague par excellence, the delectable and absolutely gorgeous Mrs. Modele Sharafa Yusuf. We welcome you. Oh, you were an icon, no doubt, where broadcast and sports broadcasting is stated. All right, the unveiling of the book, I'd like to welcome this gentleman to please come with us for that. Starting off with the National Sports Commission Chairman, Malam Shehu Diko. I'd also like to have with us the Honorable Minister for State for Industry, Federal Minister of Industry and Trade and Investment, Senator John Owan Eno. I'd also like to have with us AU Mustafa, SAN, to be with us. The amazing mathematical also, Chief Shagun Odegbami. Please, can we all have you center stage for the unveiling? The Supporters Club will give us some rendition as they usher in the book for the unveiling. Can we also have His Excellency, former Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babatunde Raji Fashola, to join us for the book unveil? All right. Can we have our dear Mama to help us with the unveil?
distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start on existing protocols. He caught me completely unawares. That's the idea. Thank you. He did very well. But it's a delight to be called upon to help with the unveiling of this book. I haven't had the pleasure of reading it beforehand, but I have no doubt that it will be a masterpiece. I know that for a fact because I know the author very well. He's a colleague, he's a friend, he's one of the icons of the industry. And so it gives me great pleasure. I think he should be here. Why are you not here? I can't be. You know, oh yeah, you should be here. It's not easy to be able to write this kind of book, and as I said, I am sure it's going to be a masterpiece. We're going to remove it, Abby. We're going to remove the. There's no cut. There's no ribbon to be cut. So I'm going to ask the chairman of the National Sports Commission, my friend, my brother, His Excellency, in whom I am very, 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 very pleased, the author and all the... Please, hold it there. Hold it there. And you too, sir. I simba like that. So, yeah? No, I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to. No, I'm very aware, don't worry. I am very... So, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. I'm going to say Bismillah, right? Because the author is a very, very good Muslim. I know that for a fact. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Shake you, my brother. Congratulations. Yes, I'm a photo. Okay. So I think I'm sure the pictures are okay, so the guests can descend. Thank you. So I can give you your microphone. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. Please, Senator, stay on. You will be given a goodwill message as we have other persons exit the stage. Thank you.
I think we can all be seated. I think we can all sit down. The chairman of this occasion, who is the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Malam Shehu Diko, our man of the moment, our own Mumini Alao, members of the National and State Assemblies that are present, the guest speaker and former governor of Lagos State, His Excellency Babatunde Fashola, Honorable Commissioner, sports administrators, ex-internationals, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. earlier on, when we stepped onto the stage for the unveiling, our own Odegbami Mathematical had remarked to me that he was desirous to also listen to me speak after the chairman and the guest speaker. And I told him that, well, I'm neither the chairman nor am I the guest speaker. That I'm here as friend of the author. But having said so, I think that let me thank Dr. Alao for inviting me to be part of this remarkable autobiography. I mean, it's in itself, I think that the book is a testament to Dr. Alao's very inspiring journey. The journey in the book, he shares with us very remarkable insights, the stories unforgettable about his journey. But let me say that when I was appointed Minister of Sports Development by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I didn't have the kind of vast working knowledge and experience of sports in our country that His Excellency former Governor Fashola demonstrated in his keynote speech. I didn't. The most the press knew of me was that I was a politician, I was a former university teacher, and a farmer. Being farmer was actually, what became the more relevant. But I was expected to provide leadership, and I think that in the course of my tour of duty, about a year, 3 months, as Minister of Sports Development, I tapped on the experiences of people like Dr. Alao to guide and to navigate me through. I found in Dr. Alao a very upright, dependable, usually experienced individual, which was why after the Olympics fiasco, at the most challenging period of our sports in development, when we came back from the Olympics and the Paralympic Games in Paris, and I thought it was important to do some post-mortem. I set up an investigative panel to interrogate the negative exposures that the country got from those 2 participations. It was to Dr. Alao that I turned. As a testimony to his character, I find him a man of character, he gave me a condition to his accepting to be chair of that panel. And he said, Honorable Minister, please, no interference. And I told him I would not interfere. I gave him my word, and he did an incredible job. I think that, unfortunately, the same week he submitted the report of that job was the same week that the president scrapped the Ministry of Sports Development, got me reassigned, and put in place a National Sports Commission. But I'm glad, again, to the sporting, public, the sporting media, that the work of Dr. Alao's committee came back to life a few weeks or a month ago when there was the talk about favor of Philly having to want to now compete for another country. Some journalists threw up some of the conclusions and recommendations of that work. And I'd like to ask everyone to go back, look for that report. It's part of the handy notes that I gave to the chairman of the National Sports Commission, and I'd like to use this occasion to also, encourage him to look at the recommendations of that work. It's, so thank you, Dr. Alao. Thank you. Nigeria's, sporting sector and environment is such an environment that you must be a strong character to stand up at such a moment. And Dr. Alao was one of those that stood up. When I listened to His Excellency Governor Fashola, he talked about our best moment in sports. I agree with him totally. This is our best moment. This is our best moment. A moment where there is now reward for sportsmen and women. This is that moment. And I think that if there is a moment that is motivating enough for all our young men and women to seize the chance, it is this moment. This president has shown total commitment and support for sports. It started with his initial approval of the request we had made ahead of the last AFCON, where he approved about 12 billion. That money climbed to about 19 billion, and he paid to the last kobo. Most of that had to do with outstanding debts. The last coach of the national team, Pesaro, wasn't paid for 15 months. This president, it's not the first time that, our Super Falcons are winning, are conquering Africa. In fact, they talked of Mission X, isn't it? So it became the 10th time. But this is also the first time they have been as hugely rewarded, isn't it? It's not the first time that the Tigers have conquered Africa. In fact, since 2017, they've done that every of the editions. And if you count in totality, they've done that about 7 or 8 times. 7. So but I'm also glad that the reward, incidentally, is also to those female teams that represented us at the last Olympics. Before the Super Falcons qualified for the last Olympics, they had not qualified for upwards of 16 years. Before the basketball team went for the last Olympics, they had not been there for 20 years. It's also a testimony to their resilience that they are the same teams that have conquered Africa and have been rewarded as hugely. So it does seem that our greater challenge is with competing with the rest of the world. And I think that is now the task for the new sports administrators. Let me thank Dr. Alao, for the very invaluable insights. As a young university teacher, I was attracted to Dr. Alao's column because if you read my foreword, students will always gather in front of the University of Calabar gate. His columns were a crowd puller any day. So this is having to have this unveiled at the right moment, and this is that right moment. So there's a lot to be learned from those experiences. There are incredible insights and experiences that are unforgettable that this book provides an opportunity for. So I congratulate you. Like others have said, like Governor Fashola said, it wasn't an invitation I could say no to. Not when he had engaged and informed me for upwards of 6 months ago. For Dr. Alao and for the character that I find in him. This wasn't what I could say no to. And I thank you for giving me this opportunity for this Goodwill message and beg that soon afterwards you would permit that I leave to catch a flight for some other event and engagement. But I also thank, all of you. Looking at this room, the content of this room, the quality of the presence here. it's also a show of solidarity to one of your own, to one of your best. So I congratulate you again. And I mean, this is not the end at all. It can never be the end with you. Your contributions are still needed. I will continue to be needed until we're able to get it on. I mean, I also agree with Governor Fashola. I mean, I find and I have found no sector as empowering and as engaging as the sports sector. Not just in terms of the employment it can provide, but even for the solution to criminality and all forms of, malaise that we find. My hope is that we all will be able to take the best and the most advantage of a sports-loving president who has shown, practically what it is to support sports. Again, congrats and God bless everyone.
Can we do it better for Senator John Onwa-Eno for his beautiful Goodwill message to the author? We thank you so much. All right, we're going straight into the next item on the agenda. But before then, I recognize the presence of the NFF president, Malam Gusso, who is ably represented here by a good friend in the industry also, Mr. George Alu, Chairman NNL. You're welcome. Let's put our hands together for him. People, don't be tired, eh? All right, we'll go into the book review, and I would like to welcome our reviewer. It will be a very brief review before we get into the book launch itself. So as a result of that, we'll make it very, very brief. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Department of Mass Communication, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, also a classmate of the author, the University of Lagos from 1984 to 87, Dr. Bolu John Folayan. You didn't even let us see you come from. You're managing my time. Okay, you will make heaven.
The chairman of this occasion, Malam Shehu Dikko, guest speaker, chief launcher, other launchers, distinguished guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen of the press. I deeply cherish the honor given me to review this fantastic literary work titled Mumini Alao, my autobiography. The assignment is to give this distinguished audience a sneak preview of the book in about 10 minutes. I will do that right away. Book classification. The book falls into the publishing category called autobiography. That is a book containing the life history and career of a person written by that person. Pagination is 272. Two forewords are written for the book, one by Senator John Onwa-Eno, and the second written by Agbabola Nwankwo-Kanu. Year of publication is 2024. Publisher is Soccer Talk Media Ventures Lagos. The book has two main parts. Part 1 contains 23 chapters and deals with the author's journey through sports, how he successfully traversed the journey to become one of Nigeria's most celebrated and most decorated sports journalists. Part 2 has 11 chapters and contains the biodata of the author, that is the birth, parents, schooling, finding faith in Islam, setting up a family, and attaining the remarkable age of 60 years, which this book is also designed to commemorate. There are 50 memorable photographs and graphics presented in 2 batches in this section. Most biographies and autobiographies are written in the A to Z or ascending format. That is, they start from birth, early life, adolescent, adulthood, and so on. It's the same format most readers use to read newspapers. The normal person will start reading a newspaper from the front page and goes to the back. This book does not follow that tradition. And this probably is because the author is a sports journalist. Sports fans read their newspapers in no particular formula. They can start from the back page. They can start from the middle of the page. They have no reading format. Mumini's autobiography is written in this sports format. You can start reading the book from any chapter, forwards or backwards, and you will see. Chairman, sir, I humbly seek your permission to ask the audience to clap for Dr. Mumini Alao for this skillful presentation. Thank you. Yes, choosing a writing style is not easy when the writer of the book is a scholar, a PhD holder for that matter, a journalist, and more so, a sports journalist. These genres of writing are totally different. Hence, Mumini deserves that applause. Style of the book. As it is with most autobiographies, the author's personality and persona determines the author's rhetoric. In this case, the author chose the simple narrative style that is known to sports. Vocabulary is simple, and I can bet in US dollars that you will not have to consult any dictionary or Wikipedia while reading this book. Dr. Alao, in writing this book, thoroughly considered the nature of the readers, and many of them are young Nigerians looking up to a career in journalism, and of course, the older generation who wants to relish the past as they face the final 100 or 200 meters in their race through life. These two categories of target audiences for the book are extremely busy people and are not avid readers. The younger ones do not like to read. The older ones do not have time to read. To get around this challenge, the author skimmed the book in very short chapters. A chapter in the book averages just 10 pages. If you start reading the book as you live here, before you get to Abuleoja or Yaba, you have finished 2 chapters. The longest chapter, Discovering Islam, is just 15 pages. And the shortest chapter, Encounter with Eso, is just 2.5 pages. The author skillfully ensures that no chapter runs into another, such that when you are done with a chapter, you are done with the subject matter of that chapter. Benefits of the book. Of what benefit is reading Mumini Alao's autobiography to the readers? I say the reader of this book will benefit quite a lot. They say the taste of the pudding is in the eating. Yes. Since the organizers have asked me to eat the book before you do, I can confidently tell you that you will find the book very tasty. This book tells so much about Mumini Alao. Even the best biographers do not quite capture the subject. But in autobiographies, it tells all about the author. Even as his close friend of over 40 years, I discovered several things in the book that I did not know about Mumini Alao. I found 33 benefits reading this book, but because of time, I will quickly go through 10 of them. Number 1, in reading this book, you will discover how to be jack of one trade and become master of it. Number 2, you will learn how to traverse the difficult journalism career in Nigeria and be successful without asking for or collecting the legendary brown envelope. Number 3, if you want to set up a sports publishing firm, be it newspapers, magazine, radio, television, don't try it without first reading this book. The book takes you through the volatile sports publishing business almost for free. 4, you will discover reading this book the mentality and character of Nigerian sports personalities, be it footballers, fans, athletes, sports writers, sports administrators, and so on, and learn how to tackle them, how to give them clean tackles without yellow or red cards. 5, reading this book, you will learn how a pastor and a malam can be the best of friends for over 4 decades without either of them compromising their faiths. It is not only the civil service that you can join as an officer and rise to become a permanent secretary. This book reveals how to rise from a reporter, the starting position in journalism, to a group managing director. I know sports journalists here who spend average of 2 years in a media organization before they go to another one. But the younger ones who admire Dr. Mumini Alao, you better grab a copy of this book to know how sticking to an organization, even in turbulence, eventually pays off. For parents who want to advise their children on career choice, even if it's not a career in mass communication, this book is a necessary read. Number 8, there's a lot to learn in this book about raising a happy home and how marital life can be fun. but I must alert you that Dr. Alao does not state in the book why, like His Excellency Babatunde Fashola, SAN, he sticks to one wife instead of enjoying his fundamental right as a good Muslim to have 4. Number 9, people pontificate about contentment. Being contented in practice, however, is a problem. This book tells how to be contented in life and be successful at doing that. Finally, my number 10, Mumini Alao's autobiography is a database on Nigerian sports in the past 50 years. You will find in the book some data about Nigerian football that you will never find in Meta AI, ChatGPT, or Google. The author is clinically detailed in his narratives, stating facts, figures, and context. Conclusion. Thank you. Let me conclude this review by doing what is also professionally required of me to do, that is to state some shortcomings of the book. Honestly, this is an area I found most challenging, but since I must state a few shortcomings in reviewing an excellent literary work as this, let me volunteer 2 shortcomings. 1, except in the appendix section, most of the book is denominated in straight narratives. I think there ought to be numerous quotes, dialogues, and to spice conversations. I believe if the author had added this new journalism style in some chapters, it will enhance more readership engagement. Let me give you an example of an interesting dialogue in the book. It appears on page 15, chapter 2, starting off my career. I read, when I was ushered into SO's office, I was seeing him physically for the first time. Although he had been my role model and I followed his writings for nearly 8 years. The following conversation ensued between us. Good morning, sir. SO now answered, good morning. What may I do for you, young man? Mumini now replied, I am a graduate of mass communication from University of Lagos and I want to write sports. And I feel this is the place to come. That is why I'm here. SO now said, that is fine, but we don't have a vacancy. We didn't advertise any vacancy. Mumini replied, yes, I know, but I decided to come all the same. SO now said, so, what are we going to do now? Mumini now replied, I want you to give me a trial. According to the author, SO looked up, reflected left and right, and said, you can come if you wish. But I want you to understand that we won't have to pay you a salary. Mumini now said, that is okay by me. The rest, as the saying goes, is history. End of quote. Now to the second shortcoming of the book. The body type of the book is set in 10 or 11 points. This is a little too tiny for those of us who do not yet read with eyeglasses. Despite these 2 shortcomings, the author and publisher deserve full accolades for the top-class quality of print in traditional off-white in-text format that autobiographies are set in. The cover design, as you can see, is first class. Since, as we say in mass communication, the cover of the book says the book, I have no doubt whatsoever that the author and publisher are going to make hundreds of millions of naira today. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Mumini Alao has done a great thing by writing his biography at 60. The legendary Chief Obafemi Awolowo wrote his own at 50. Mr. Femi Otedola released his biography last month at 62. Biographies and autobiographies make positive impact on people, societies, and institutions. I can imagine the huge benefits to be derived if the great achievers in this hall today have penned or they are writing their biographies. It is now time for me to leave this podium for one of the most important items in today's program, launching of the book. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to leave by challenging you with a question. Mumini Alao has written his autobiography at 60. When are you going to write your own? Thank you for listening.
I think we can do better for Dr. Bolu Folayan. That was exceptional. Dr. Folayan, I also saw shortcomings in your reviews. You think you are the only one that can see shortcomings? My first shortcoming, as you were quoting one of the excerpts in the book, that was not Dr. Mumini Alao's voice. True or false? Second shortcoming, that was not SO's voice. True or false? All right, with these few words, I hope I've been able to convince and not confuse you. Well, there's a good reason why I'm not a reviewer. I don't see shortcomings. Look at my height. If you know, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we're heading to the launching of the book. And I'm excited, highly excited, to welcome to the podium to take us through this particular process exceedingly solid persons. First and foremost, I'd like to start off by inviting a woman who has pervaded the sports broadcast industry, laid her mark, a legacy, an icon. Be clapping, be clapping. I thought this English I'm saying. I went to Mascom too. Yes. Just so you know, people of Shakiland, I'm your son. Oh. I finished from Irua, Ibadan Poly. So I'm yours. It's Irua Ken, Barakba Ken. Is that not how we say it? Ladies and gentlemen, please, rousing applause for Mama Sport herself, Miss Aisha Falode. And as she makes her way to the podium here, I would also like to welcome a very, very excellent gentleman who will be coordinating with Mama Sports herself for the launching of the book. He's the CEO, New Media and Marketing. Ladies and gentlemen, please put it together for Mr. Ehi Brahima.
Thank you very much, Praise. We have been kept very, very well informed here at this book launch of my boss, my friend, my colleague, an editor and a gentleman, a publisher, an author, a family man, Dr. Mumini Alao. Congratulations, sir. I don't even know why we are standing on the podium. I think we should be closer to the money.
Okay. Exactly.
Because this is the time to really talk. And our job here has been made easy by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Who was relieved of his high blood pressure after halftime.
Yes, and he has given us a template of how to reward performance, how to reward excellence, how to reward results. And our benchmark won't be, of course, can't be as high as the president, but we will not float the donation. We will cost it, and we will be collecting in all currencies, and then we'll convert to dollars. On the day the Super Falcons were given their reward, it was $100,000 US. And for those who are quick with their calculators, they told us the exchange rate that day was 152 million naira. And the president also said that the Super Falcons were given a 3-bedroom flat each in a choice area in Abuja. So we'll be collecting in monetary value. We can also collect in assets. So you can also donate by giving us a plot of land. We don't mind, or it has to be Lekki or VI or, you know. So we will start. Yeah. And of course, I'm not going to be doing this alone. The chairman, he knows how to look for money. Ehi Brahima. He is the managing director of New
Media and Marketing.
Media and Marketing.
We also publish Niger Times.
Niger
but
Times.
having said that, once again, I think you all deserve a round of applause for yourselves for being a great audience. Mumini Alao is a good man. That's why we are all here. All right? And we have a long list here. And I want to, first of all, also thank our chairman, who has been very patient with us. Malam Shehu Diko, thank you very much for your presence, for your patience. So we have individual launchers, we have corporate launchers, we have the National Sports Commission. And the Oga Kwata is sitting right in front of us. Oga, I hope you don't mind. Talk to us. Okay. He has given me permission to continue.
We must include a caveat here. Yes. All the monies that you donate here, that you launch the book with, are from your person, private capacity. This is not government money. So don't be afraid of EFCC, ICPC, and all the rest. It is the individual that is giving from the individual's pocket. So it's not government money they are donating here. So please be aware.
Okay, I understand the NFF president is being represented here. Nigerian Football Federation rep. Where is he, please? Okay.
No, from the pockets of the NFF president.
Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen that are here. Malam Shehu Diko, we want to thank you again for your patience, Chairman of National Sports Commission. The President of Nigeria Football Federation has directed that I represent him here. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it. You know, he has so many other pressing assignments. The Chan Eagles have a very difficult match against Sudan on Tuesday, which we pray that Nigeria will win so that we'll continue our success story when it comes to sports. And he said I should commend Mumini Alao for what he's doing. He is a good advertisement for Nigerian sports journalists. He is not just a good journalist, he is somebody that has intellectual capacity. So I think my other colleagues would borrow a leaf from what Dr. Mumini Alao is doing. The president has very high regards for you. And he said I should buy every copy of this book for 200,000 and 5 of them will be for 1 million. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Did he launch it? Did he launch it?
Yes. 5 copies for 1 million naira.
Okay.
That is
from the pockets of Alhaji Ibrahim Musa Gusau,
the NFF president. I'm sure he will do more later.
Of the Nigeria Football Federation.
He wants to support him.
I think my boss, having bought 5 copies for 1 million, I think the Nigerian National League, from my pocket, not NNL as it were,
as George
Aluo, not NNL, will buy a copy for 100,000.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
So Ehi, let me just say this, that the chairman is seated here. The chairman, who is a personal friend of the author,
Mumini Alao,
whose story the chairman is living today, says he must support the launching or the launch of this book in his private capacity, personal capacity, as Alhaji.
Not as chairman, as Malam
Shehu Diko. Please make your donation. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I think in view of my personal relationship with the author, I think I know the cost of the production. I could have written it off. This is how much I valued him. But in that respect, I think I will make a personal donation to buy 20 copies of the book for 20 million.
Oh, that is my chairman. That is Malam Shehu Diko.
And then I have a message from my friend, Amajupini. He said he's buying 5 copies for 2 million naira on his behalf. So I announced that to do that.
So, Malam Shehu Diko. Malam Shehu Diko. Not the NSC. Please, for the journalists who are here, and for those of us who are on the social media, who are streaming this event live, 20 million for 20 copies bought by the friend of the author in the private, personal capacity of Malam Shehu Diko, who happens to be the chairman of this occasion and also the chairman of the National Sports Commission.
Another round of applause for our chairman.
Applause for our chairman.
And then he added on top of that Amaju Pinnick is buying 5 copies for 2 million naira.
Amaju Pinnick, in his private capacity as the former president of the Nigeria Football Federation, a former council member of FIFA, the former executive committee member of CAF, who has returned because of the good work and the personal relationship that he has done for African presidents and member associations, is buying how many copies? 5 copies?
5 copies for 2 million
for 2 million naira.
Okay, Mama Sports. Aisha, let us invite Family United by Sports folks. Who's stepping forward?
No, before we do that, we have to follow protocol. We have to follow protocol. Yeah. The guest speaker is gone. He delivered a very powerful lecture here. We all felt like we were in a classroom. In a way, we are. This is a lecture hall, right? I hope we took notes. But we should have left room for question and answer after his lecture. There were so many questions. I, for one, wanted to ask the former governor and the former minister. Maybe about facilities for sports in Lagos, what happened to stationery stores, the football culture of Lagos. Lagos used to be, Lagos used to be very heavy with football in those days. I wanted to know what happened to those. And I'm sure a lot of our colleagues would have also wanted to know. So we move on. We must call on another big personality here who has worked in the appeals committee of the Confederation of African Football, also in a FIFA appeals committee. He is a senior advocate of Nigeria, is indeed a friend, a big brother to the author, Alhaji A.U. Mustafa, SAN. Please come and show us where to follow, what you are giving. See, 20 million.
He will show us how to follow the money.
2 million, 1 million. You should be closer to that 20 million naira mark, don't you think?
Aisha, I'm a charge of the lawyer. I'm not a money bag like my brother Diko. So maybe if I make my announcement, maybe Diko will come to this is my brother of more than 30 years. We have been in this football business with Aisha, very ageless. Aisha is still looking like 30 years younger. Okay, you are not. First of all, I want to congratulate the author and each and everybody here present. It is very important. It's an eloquent testimony to who Dr. Alao is. He's not a political office holder. He doesn't award contracts, and he can pull this kind of crowd. He speaks to the kind of person that he is. And I want to thank my brother and formally and officially congratulate him on his well-deserved appointment. Everything he said, for those of us that know him, we call him a encyclopedia of football, because if there is anything about football, Nigeria, international, whatever, clubs, anywhere in the world, and you sit down with Diko will lecture you because he has everything offhand. Having said that, before I announce my very modest donation, like I said, I'm in charge of the lawyer, so I will not allow Diko to pull me to where I don't belong.
No, he says you can. I should not be scared.
Let me give a personal. I listened to what everybody said about Dr. Alao. Please, allow me to share my own experience with him. My precious daughter, I don't know where she is, my first daughter, about 3-4 years ago, She would just hide in the library and be whispering and be laughing. We were wondering what was going on. We didn't know what was going on. She would just come back and maintain a face. So one day, she said somebody was coming that our friend was coming to visit us, and the friend is here, Mustafa. And Mustafa, after he led us in prayer, we stood out to the background and left. And I said, where are you from? He said, I'm the son of Dr. Mumini Alao. I said, no, my daughter is married to you. I didn't go any...
No long story.
I just said, I didn't do like a Yoruba person. I'm supposed to do diligence on Mustafa. But wallahi, I'm speaking with all seriousness. When I heard Dr. Alao, I said, if you are the son of Dr. Mumini Alao, and what I know of Dr. Mumini Alao, you are not just the husband of my daughter, but you are my son, because I know Dr. Alao. And since then, up to now, wallahi, tallahi, it's not been it's one of the best decisions I've taken. So, Dr. Alao, thank you. It speaks volumes about you. Now, for my donation, I would have loved to make it private, but my sister will not allow me. So, I'm buying 10 books for 5 million naira.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
SAN, Alhaji A.U. Mustafa, 5 million naira for 10 books. Thank you so much. Now we move to our friends. Also, football is one big family, you know. That's one good thing about football. We do not break that camaraderie. We are always together. The next person I'm going to call to launch the book, former Lagos State Football Association chairman, former first vice president of the Nigeria Football Federation, a gentleman personified, the one who has a large heart, the one who is big also in philanthropy. He has been sponsoring students in Ivy League schools, top schools in Nigeria because of football. And some of these students have gone on to win scholarship on that pathway to study abroad. So you must know that if you needed to quantify and value what he has given to football and to these young kids in terms of naira and kobo running into millions. And in these days when we have to be, converting dollar to naira, pounds to naira, big money, because some of them have gone to United States, some of them are in England schooling as a result of his foundation. Barrister Sheyi Akinwumi. Good to see you, sir.
First of all, I'd like to just lend my voice to all the wonderful things that have been said about Mumini Alao. None of them are exaggerated. I assure you, I hold him in extreme esteem. And it's not just a recent thing. I won't waste too much time. When he invited me to this event, my text to him was that, thank God you invited me, or I was otherwise going to come and get crashed. And that he should send me an account number to support. I didn't realize at that time that I was going to be sitting between my landed SAN and sitting between him and the NSC chairman, and actually sitting on the seat vacated by a FIFA council member. So I'm humble, and my pocket is humble, but I'll take 2 copies for 500,000 naira.
Thank you very much, sir. 2 copies for 500,000 naira. 2 copies for 500,000 naira. Don't forget, we said we take, you can donate flats, you can donate a house, you can donate a plot of land. That's the template handed over by Mr. President. So don't let us deviate from it. Let's just keep track of that.
Akin Alabi is next. Please.
Mr. Akin Alabi, please step forward. You see, when people are sitting, I don't mean Harry and Jojo, when they are sitting in the front seats, know that
he's okay,
that
honorable,
they are about
so that
to
the
do
money will be
something
bigger.
big. Honorable Akin Alabi is about to do something very, very big.
Thank you very much.
I know, I can feel it in my spirit.
Dr. Mumini Alao, I just want to say congratulations. I've been your ardent reader and follower since the early 90s. Then later on, your boss who became your partner, Dr. Senio Bazo Jagwase, became my mentor. He's the one that showed me the rudiments of business. So I'm very proud to associate with you. Congratulations. More decades on earth in good health and more success. I'm going to pick up 2 copies for 1 million naira. Thank you.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Honorable Akin Alabi. Thank you very much. Let us maintain the momentum.
Dominic Eofa, he says
the momentum.
He says the very first edition. He said I should off my.
I stayed on the remaining existing protocol, but I will mention my principal here. At least I'm happy that he's here, and it's because of him that all of us are here and where we are today. Alao Mumini, I am not happy with you in the sense that the first edition of Complete Football, I was the center page of that magazine, 1985.
A round of applause.
1985.
A round of applause.
If you look at the caliber of players,
and the
first center page, if you look at the caliber of players, we are then. The Humphrey Debo, the Henry Warsu, Stephen Keshi, Monday, Odiaka, Ikari, all of them, our center page. So for him to put Ipeba, to put Kanu, to put himself, Rufi,
no, at least you have enjoyed the center page now.
You understand my point? He's supposed to say, I have so many names. Some people call the Gazelle, some people call Antelope, some people call Human Express, which
you have enjoyed the center
so,
page.
You know, during our time, we are not like them Yobe, who make so much money.
So how
you
much
understand
are you
my point?
donating? How much
who
are
makes
you?
so much money? And
how much are you buying the book?
I don't have much. Our time there was no money. It's now that there's mega money.
Okay.
But I will buy 2 copies for 200,000 naira.
Well done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dominic. Thank you.
Dominic, you enjoyed center page.
Many years ago.
You can't buy that with money. Okay, let's go. Let's go to our KBSC. Enya Robaki. Enya Robaki. Odobale lanki oba. Yeah, me, I'm not. I was born in Ibadan. I grew up in Lagos, but I am married to Oshun, originally from Edo. So I am what? A true Nigerian. I'm for everybody and for nobody. So, Enyarobafi. Are you leaving? Okay. Let's hand over the mic to His Royal Highness Oba Khalid Oyeniyi. Okay, it's not Okereo. Praise. Where's Moses?
Moses
Okere.
praise.
The Okere. Okere of Shaki land.
Where is it?
The Okere of Shaki land. Where's Kabiesi? Kabiesi? Kabiesi is not here. Is there anybody representing the Kabiesi?
Can you write it for me?
No, I will.
There's nobody. Okay.
Oh, yeah, now. Harry. NPFL.
How can Harry go? Harry is with us here till the end.
You know, it's a Sunday. I was almost going to say, praise the Lord. But my chairman, Honorable Otumba Bengelebele, he said I should stand here to wear his big shoes and represent him. As Honorable Bengelebele, he's donating, he's launching this book with 200,000 naira for a copy. And I, in my personal capacity, as a junior journalist to Mumini Alao, as his friend, as somebody who defeated his complete sports in Swan Cup. I'll be buying one copy with 50,000 naira. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you, Harry. NPFL, 200,000.
No, Honorable Benga Elegbeleye, not NPFL.
Okay, Honorable Benga Elegbeleye, yes, that's fine.
Yeah, the chairman of
and Harry also doing 50K.
Okay, now we have our host, the Lagos State Football Association. They have done very well. Indeed, Lagos has been good to all of us. All of us who are Nigerians but have found home in Lagos. Very welcoming. In sports, in football, Lagos is very welcoming. So Alhaji Liamid Gafar, the chairman of the Lagos State Football Association. Are you here, Alhaji?
Please don't go yet. Just wait to get your copies, please.
Alhaji Gafar is not here. So we'll say, it has a representative.
Who is the representative? And don't forget to get Mumini Alao to autograph your copy.
In fact, Alhaji Gafar has already done the needful.
Really?
In
He's
fact,
done that?
His absence here has been heavily felt by those who are tracking the money. 2.5 million naira from Alhaji Gafar. He has already sent the money.
In advance.
So the secretary of the Lagos State Football Association is here. Vera, let's hear from your mouth.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, my boss asked that I represent him here today, and he has already done the needful through the man in question. Thank you.
Okay. You don't have complete message. 2.5 million naira was the needful.
That was the message.
Thank you, Vera. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I am the younger brother to Dr. Mumini Alao. Dr. Bolu, Ekujo Meta. By God's grace, on behalf of our family, we are launching 5 copies for 500,000 naira.
Thank you very much. This is the kind of family that is a model. On behalf of the family of Dr. Mumini Alao, the younger brother is launching with 500,000 naira. Yeah, for the family.
Yes,
Just announce it representing.
Yes.
This event is ongoing. Please, let's take a seat.
We of the set of 1984 to 1987 of the Department of Mass Communication, University of Lagos. We solidarize with the author, and I have the mandate of our coordinator to deliver a short comment and then launch the book. No, not too long. All the esteemed members of the 1987 Positive Peace Center set of the Great Unilag Mass Communication hereby stand in solidarity with and support for one of the brightest stars of our set, Dr. Mumini Alao, the Irumole or General Overseer or Sheikh of Nigerian sports journalism. We congratulate him once again on this hugely successful launch of his autobiography, coming barely 2 years after his first book launch on Nigeria's football gold at Atlanta 96 Olympics. We pray for his continuing success in book publishing and other endeavors. Amen. We, the new Unilag Masscom setmates of Dr. Mumini Alao, hereby launch his autography with a modest sum of 400,000 naira for
Thank
2 books.
Thank you very much.
We thank you all for the wonderful honor and support to one of our own today. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. That's how to support your own.
2 copies, 400,000 naira.
Can we clap?
Who is noting that?
Yeah. The account number, some of you we may not call. Please, if you feel the need to support this book in any way, the account number is on the projector on the stage. Okay. Just take the account number from there.
Yeah, on behalf of the University of Lagos Muslim Alumni, UMA, Dr. Mumini Alao is our president. We launched the book, 5 books for the sum of 250,000 naira.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. UNILAG Muslim Alumni Association, UMA.
Thank you very much.
5 copies, 250K.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. My name is Deji Omotoyimbo. Mumini Alao is somebody those of us in the sports fraternity see as a leading light, a pride of our industry. My first experience with him, I was working at DBN TV. DBN TV was on the 23rd floor of a co-court. So I invited him to a show, and I deliberately did not tell him that the time he was coming, the elevator would be off. So he had to climb 23 floors. So for those 23 floors, Mumini Alao climbed in 1996. I humbly support him by purchasing a copy of the book for 100,000 naira. 1 copy for 100,000 naira.
Thank you very much.
No, I announced my name. I'm Deji Omotoyimbo.
Deji Omotoyimbo.
Our senior colleague, Atlanta 96.
Okay, I thought I was going to do it quietly. My name is Dr. Kweku Tando. Dr. Mumini Alao is somebody that I respect a lot, someone that anytime he calls, I answer because he always has something productive to discuss and talk about. I'm picking up a copy of the book for 100,000 naira.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then the Muslim alumni, Lagos, University of Lagos chapter, the one that came before, those were from the national. Now we have the Lagos chapter. They want to launch. Thank you, sir.
Congratulations to Dr. Mumini Alao. On behalf of the University of Lagos Muslim Alumni, Lagos chapter, I repeat, Lagos chapter, we are launching a copy for the sum of 50,000 naira. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My name is Alhaji Musa Murtado Akorede. I happen to be an in-law to Dr. Mumini Alao, and Dr. Mumini Alao is my role model. Almighty Allah bless him for us. Continue to protect him from all evils and danger. On behalf of myself and my wife, I launched the book at the rate of 50,000 naira.
Thank you very much, our in-law. Thank you.
Which group is this one?
Which group? How much is this?
100. No, let's give it to him. No, go and give it to him.
But we have to announce them now. Yeah.
Okay.
Bello Asumo Shitu has launched the book, 2 copies with 100,000 naira. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. My name is Alaji.
Please, can we make this orderly? Be seated, please. The event is still ongoing. Please, let's keep this orderly.
Go ahead. So my name is Alaji Ibiemi. I'm the uncle to Mumini Alao. He's my own. I just want to say congratulations to him.
Excuse me.
And I want to buy a copy of the book for 100,000 naira.
Thank you very much, sir. 100,000 naira.
Have you filled the form? Okay, 100,000. See the account there. Look at the account. No, see the account number. All right.
The form so they can follow.
A donation from CCL, Complete Communications Limited.
No.
Hello?
My name is Mr. Namde Ezekte. I'm standing here for Complete Communications Limited. Of course, Dr. Mumini Alao is many things to all of us at CCL. And we are very, very happy to be here on this great occasion on the launch of his great book. So, on behalf of CCL, we are making a donation of 500,000 for 10 copies of the book.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, on behalf of the Lagos Legends, Mumini is a very good friend. So what I have done is to do 5 copies for 1 million naira.
5 copies, 1 million naira.
Lagos Legends.
Thank you.
5 copies, 1 million naira. Thank you, Lagos Legends.
On behalf of Peace Estate Welfare Association, the estate where Dr. Mumini Alao resides.
Please, for those who are filling the forms, can we have somebody come and start collecting these forms? Please.
Okay, on behalf of Peace Estate Welfare Association, Okota, Lagos, where Dr. Mumini Alao resides, he is the chairman of the board of trustees of our estate. On behalf of the executive committee of the estate and all members of the estate, we hereby launch 2 copies of the book for 100,000 naira. Thank you.
All right, that's the account number there. The estate where Mumini lives is the chair of the board of trustees. 2 copies for 100,000 naira.
Thank you very much. My name is Khalid Adekoya. I teach genetics in University of Lagos. Mumini Alao has been a long-time friend. We lived together in Isolo before I came here, and we are still together. I was the last president of the Unilag Muslim Alumni, in which he took over from me. On behalf of my family, I launched the book, 3 copies with 100,000 naira.
Thank you.
3 copies, that's the account number over there.
Alhaji Khalid Adekoya. Thank you, sir. If you don't copy. For those who have launched the book, you must go home with your own copies of the book. So please go to the back of the auditorium and collect your books.
My name is Abimbola Onishabi. The author is a friend. I cherish him. I congratulate him for this well-deserved honor today. I launched 2 copies of the book for 100,000 naira.
2 copies for 100,000 naira. That's the account number right on the screen. Yes, any more? Moses Praise.
Moses.
Why is God doing knocking out? Foobs. Family United by Sports. Foobs. Has Godwin left the hall? All right. Moses Praise. Over to you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to round things up here.
No, but there's one more donation by a headmaster.
Yes, let's do that.
Thank you very much. I've known Dr. Mumini Alao since 1988 when we were still at the under-20 Flying Eagles in Ibadan. He used to come to our camp, and most times we come out from the complete football in the front page. And I was just thinking then that, am I so important for me to come out from his... so it shows that, he has really done very well, and we want to thank him because, most of, the publications, projected us, and, it makes us to be more, hardworking, so that, we can come out from, in the front page. So I want to launch, the book with, 50,000 naira.
Thank you very, very much. Mutiu Adepoju, a legend, ex-international Super Eagles, Flying Eagles, supporting the launch of the book with 50,000 naira. Yes, sir.
On behalf of the Companion, Association of Muslims in Business and Professions, we launched the book with the sum of 250,000 naira for 10 copies.
Association of Muslims in Business and Profession. 10 copies of the book with 250,000 naira. Thank you very much. Have you credited the account? Okay, all right. But you need to fill a form. Okay. Where is this guy that's holding? Where's the form?
Where are finance guys?
The pledge form. We need a pledge form here. Here, sir. So follow him so that you can.
And for those who want the accounts, that's it. Then we are done. And for those who want to pay now, the account number is right on the screen. Thank you very much for your support.
Thank you. The account number is on the screen for those who want to make anonymous donations. And for those who had already bought and made donations, we thank you so very much. Malam Shehu Diko and friends with 20 million, 5 million from Barrister A.U. Mustafa S.A.N., Barrister Sheyi Akinwumi, Alhaji Liamid Gafar, everyone who has donated, everyone, on behalf of the author, Dr. Mumini Alao, and my what do you call those who collect, who organize launching? Okay, on behalf of the launching compare, Hibrama and I, thank you very much for coming. Have a safe trip back home. God bless you.
Excellent work by the amazing Miss Aisha Falade and Brahima, our launching coordinators. Thank you so much. Please, if you still need the book, you can pick it up just at the back. Siam, take microphone. Mr. Tayege is finally Chief Tayege. Apologies. He has been arrested by the launching coordinators.
Thank you very much. My pleasure to be here. 2 copies, 100,000 naira. Thank you.
Thank you.
50,000.
So please, if you want to pick the book up, it's just at the back there. You can pick his other books also. They're available for just 20,000 naira. So please just head to the very back of this hall and grab yourself 1, 2, or a few copies to share with other people. Dr. Mumini Alao, we need your attention. I'd like to use this moment to say a big thank you to members of the Shaki Youth Organization for their presence here at this book launch. We appreciate that very much. And one of yours also, the Shaki Youth Organization. Dr. Mumini Alao, can we pause that for a minute as we have you on stage? Please. Let's talk proper club, I beg. Let's talk proper clubs. Let's not waste our time on next season FC. What are you winning this season? See. Dr. Mumini Alao, your attention is needed here, sir. All right. The autograph will continue. Please, can we all be seated for just a minute? Can we all be seated for just 1 minute? The man of the moment wants to speak. Can we all give him an attention for just a minute? Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an absolute honor. And as it is, we're looking to round things up here. I have Dr. Mumini Alao, who will be giving us a vote of thanks in appreciation for our time here. Please, can we have a round of applause for the author? Thank you so much.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. We give thanks to Almighty Allah that we fixed today for this event and it has come to pass. We give all glory and adoration to God Almighty. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. After that, I don't know where to start. I don't know where to start. Because I am completely overwhelmed by what has happened today. I'm seeing faces of all my loved ones. And I don't know where to start, honestly. But I want to thank all of you. I want to thank all of you for your show of love for me. It's been very overwhelming. Obviously, I can't mention everybody by name. But please spare me. There are a few people that I would love to mention by name. I will start with my mom, Alaja Aisat Alao. She's 88 years now. I pray that Allah gives her many more years in good health. A few years ago, when somebody asked me what was my greatest achievement that year, I said to the person that my greatest achievement that year was that I didn't take my mom to hospital. So I pray that Allah continues to grant her that good health for the rest of her life. I remember my dad. I will just read what is on one of the flyers up there. Unfortunately, most of you may not have been able to see it because you are backing the flyer, but I will just read it. The credit for laying the foundation for my writing skills goes firmly to my dad. He made me write lots of English compositions when I was young. His death in 2006 is the most profound event that I have experienced in my life. I pray that Almighty Allah continues to grant my dad eternal rest. And I pray also that all of us who have parents who have passed on, may Almighty Allah grant all of them eternal rest. And all our other loved ones. Having said that, as I said, I want to mention just a few names. The first name I would like to mention is my younger brother, my immediate younger brother, Barrister Mumini Alao. Please come forward. For those of you who have picked the book, you will get to read a lot about him. So I want you to see his face, so that when you are reading about him, you can be adding the face to the story that you are reading. Al-Amin is my soulmate. I'm only 2 years older than him, so we grew up together. He used to tell me that he was stronger than me, and that he would beat me, and that his head is bigger than my own head. Here he is. I thank Almighty Allah that he's still with me. Thank you very much. Go and sit down. I have called him first because, like I said, my story and his story, our stories are tied together because we grew up together. In fact, there are some songs now, if I sing that song, in the whole world, the only person that can sing the song with me is Al-Amin. The second person I would like to call is my older brother, Pastor Bamidele Akirele. Please come forward. For those of you who have the book, again, you will encounter Pastor Akirele in that book. Pastor Akirele was there when my parents met. I'm sure that will puzzle you. He's my older brother, but he was there when my parents met. That is because Pastor Akirele is my half-brother. We share the same mom. It was after my mom had him that my mom married my dad. So he was with my mom when my dad saw my mom. So he's a witness.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
Ayodele Karunwi. Is Ayo still here? Sadly, he has left. Ayo Karunwi, please come forward. Thank God you are here. Ayo Karunwi, I don't have any of my classmates from my primary school here, but I have a classmate from my secondary school. That's him coming up. Ayo Karunwi. You will get to read a lot about him. Ayo Karunwi and I attended Igomode Grammar School between 1975 and 1980. My jersey was number 8. His own is number 9. After Ayo had dribbled everybody on the field, he will pass the ball to me because I'm the one with the hot shot. Then I will shoot the ball into the net. Ayo, look at me now. Thank you very much. Thank you. When I finished secondary school, I did my HSC at Anwar Islam College, Agege. Those of you who have the book, when you get to the chapter, Discovering Islam, that is where I narrated my experience in Anwar Islam College. Al-Fatah Absalam, please come forward. Absalam was my classmate at Anwar Islam College between 1981 and 1983. Al-Fatah is the one that made this event happen. And I will explain. Al-Fatah is a publisher of As-Salam, the Peace magazine. When I told him I had finished writing my autobiography, my plan was just to put it on Amazon, put it on Roving Heights, like I did with my previous books, and let those who are interested buy, let them buy, and that will be the end. Afatai said to me, we have to do a formal launch. And we want to test the popularity of Mumini Alao. That was his statement. We want to test the popularity of Mumini Alao. We are going to invite Mr. President. Mr. President, say yes. And we are going to invite every Tom, Dick, and Harry. He was the one that made me to start calling people and inviting people. Otherwise, I would just have written the book and left it on the market, and that would be the end of it. But here we are now. Afatai, thank you very much. Thank you. All right. I've gone from my secondary school to my HSC and now university. Bolu, please come forward. Akashoro, please come forward. Bolu, he did the book review. Akashoro that is coming with him. We were classmates in University of Lagos between 1984 and 1987, mass communication. With Akashoro here, Akashoro is a professor. Bolu will soon be a professor. Akashoro and I were in the same room, Jaja Hall, for 3 years, also in the same department. Bolu was with us in the department, but he was in a different hall. But he would come to our room to eat. I was the one cooking the food. Akashoro was washing the plates. And Bolu too was washing the plates. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming. You're welcome. I don't have any of my colleagues from the NYSC here, but like Bolu narrated to you, when I finished my NYSC, I went straight to work with Dr. Sonny Ojiagbasi at Complete Football. And that was where I met Ehi Brahima. Ehi, please come up. I'm sure some of you will have read what Ehi wrote about me before this event. Maybe some of you will have read it. I think the title was Mumini Alao, my brother, my friend, my colleague. Ehi and I, we shared the same office, same table in 1989. 1988? 89. We also shared the same car. The car will go and drop Ehi at home, go and drop me at home, and then we'll meet the following day. Occasionally too, he will follow me when I was looking for a wife. He will follow me there because we had only one car. So he will have to sit in the car and wait for me until I finish doing my toasting.
Please put your hands together for Medina, Mumini's wife.
And we have been together since then, you can imagine. Since 1988, he's my brother, my colleague, my friend. Ehi, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So it was at Complete Football that everybody got to know Mumini Alao. And that was because I was writing about Mutiu Adekoju, the headmaster. Please come forward. I guess the other guys have left. I saw Aloyagu a short while ago. Joseph Yobo, he came later. But headmaster was there from the beginning. In fact, it was Complete Football magazine that gave him the nickname headmaster. Thank you very much, headmaster. Mutiu Adekoju. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. All right. So, I will stop there because I think that just summarizes It's all right. I have called up my immediate older brother and my immediate younger brother, and that they will represent my family. Is Solomon or Samson, are they still here in the hall? Please come forward. A round of applause for them too. Bolu, when he was reading the book review, he already told you about my encounter with Dr. Sonny Ojiagbese. But that was our second encounter when I went to apply for a job in his office. Our first encounter actually was in 1980 when I had just finished school SAT, and I was reading his pages, and I won a prize in one of his competitions. And I went to his office at Concord Newspapers between international airport and local airport. And I didn't meet him in the office. The prize I won was 2 naira 50 kobo. My calculation was if I collected that 2 naira 50 kobo, I would pay for my transport from there. Unfortunately, I didn't meet him. So I had to trek from Concord all the way to Agigemuto Road. And when I told one of my friends, he said, Mumini, you want to kill yourself because of 2 naira 50 kobo? Eventually, I got to meet SO 8 years later as a staff, later as a business partner, and later he became a big brother. SO was a great man. He was a great man. We pray that God Almighty will continue to rest his soul. Solomon, Samson, keep the flag flying. Thank you very much. I think I will stop there. Otherwise, we won't leave here. Like the book reviewer said, I'm a storyteller. That is my writing style. When I write a story, even if you are not there, by the time you finish reading my story, you will think you watched the match. I thank God for that gift. And I want to thank everybody again for coming, for sparing the time to come and support me on this occasion. I pray that God Almighty will bless all of you. I pray that God Almighty will see you home safely. I want to thank the Supporters Club. I want to thank all our sponsors. Number one on the list of our sponsors, IBST. Please a round of applause for them. IBST, they are the ones behind this big screen. And they are also behind all the camera work that you are seeing here. And they have not collected 1 kobo from me. And I'm sure those who organize events, they will know what this, only this one, I'm sure you will know the cost is in millions. So IBST, you guys are the bomb. Thank you. MTN, thank you very much. Is Funshaw still here? MTN, thank you very much. Biggie, Right Foods, Complete Sports, 36 Lions Football Club, Super Sports, Brilla FM, Eagle Sport Radio, Golf Nigeria, Niger Times, Unilag Muslim Alumni, Pentacrest Company Limited, Sports Writers Association of Nigeria. I hope I've not left anybody out for the sponsors who have supported this event. I thank you, all of you, once again. Moses, please come up. We have a Yoruba proverb that the big masquerade dances last. But before he dances, let me quickly recognize two more people here. Number one, Dr. Rafiu Ladipo. I didn't hear the drums. It cost a arm and a leg to bring out the supporters club, but Dr. Rafiu Ladipo underwrote that bill for me. Thank you, sir. And I have here my big uncle, who is our family's father figure now. When because my dad was ill before he passed on, he knew that his days were numbered, and he prepared for his death. And part of the preparation was that he handed over us, the kids, to one of our big uncles to take care of us. And he has never left us since then. And we pray that God Almighty will also be with him and also be with his own children as well. Please, a round of applause for Alhaji Ibiyemi. Jazakallah khairan, sir. Thank you very much, sir. All right. So Moses, when I called Moses and I said he would be the one to anchor this event, he said to me, why him? Because he knew that I could pick from any of our colleagues, the Giamoto Imbo, my own contemporary, Charles Anazodo, Chisom, and so on and so forth. I could have called any of them and they would be happy to come. So why me? And I said to Moses, it was Moses that led the Israelites across the Red Sea. In Islam, we call Moses Musa. I said, so come and lead us to a successful event of this book launch. And I am sure I don't need to say anything for him. Moses has a lot of energy. He only displayed just 5% of it for you here today. Thank you very much, Moses. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. I'm going to hand over the microphone to you because my item on the agenda is vote of thanks. So please, if I've left anybody that I should mention out, as I said, I'm just seeing all your faces, and I'm sure all of you are seeing me. All right? Just be happy with me, and don't quarrel with me, please, if I didn't mention your name. All right? Almighty Allah sees all of you too, and I pray that Almighty Allah will bless all of you. Thank you, and thank you very much.
One more minute, we forgot something.
And nobody reminded me. Please sit down again. I only told part of the story. When I said Ibrahima, when we went out together in the hired car, he would sit while I go around to toast. You didn't ask me who I was toasting. You didn't. Eh? So you guys, you don't want me to have dinner. So, on one of those toasting journeys, Dr. Akim Abiola, where are you? Oh, yeah, come forward. Elijah Fatima Abiola, where are you? Oh, yeah, come forward. If I don't tell this story, all of you will have received another invitation from me tomorrow to come back here. Thank God that I remembered. Alhamdulillah. Because of the nature of my job, I wasn't meeting the kind of ladies that I wanted to marry. I wasn't meeting the kind of ladies that I wanted to marry, where my job was taking me to. I wanted to marry a very good Muslim woman, full stop. I wanted to marry a very good Muslim woman who would take care of the home for me because my job takes me home, away from home most of the time. And I wanted a woman who would be able to train my children in the way of Islam. So, I went to Dr. Abdul Hakim Abiola, Mr. Fixer. I told him my mission. He said I should give him specification. Height, size, color, etc., etc., etc. I said to him, all those specifications, cross them out. All I want is a good Muslim woman. Wallahi, tallahi, that was what I said to him. And Dr. Abiola said he will work on it. Come on X dates. And himself and his wife, they did the job and introduced my wife to me. Medina Temilade, please come up. So, these are the people, because Dr. Abiola is my friend, Sister Fatima is my wife's friend. So, 2 plus 2 became 4. And here we are today. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I think we always hear the story that he who finds a good wife finds a good thing. So I found a good wife. And that's why I told Dr. Abiola that he has to be here today because I needed to thank him for introducing me to my wife. She has given me peace of mind all my life. Thank you very much, my dear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Moses.
At this juncture, I guess it makes sense for me to just wait 2 more minutes. Peradventure, Dr. Alao remembers another thing. Yeah, but that was very wise. Dinner is secured for him. Me, I need dinner too. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Moses Praise. They call me the Grey Boss. It has been an absolute pleasure leading proceedings for this day's event. I'm sure you all have thoroughly enjoyed it. I have, absolutely. And I look forward to more beautiful moments like this. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your sacrifices. And thank you for putting a smile on the face of the Alao family at this very, very auspicious occasion. I wish you all safe journey back home. And for anybody who is willing to buy any of those books, I hear in the next 2 weeks, it will be on Amazon. In case there are people abroad, you would like to have it, and Roving Heights also. But at the same time, you can pick up Dr. Mumini Alao's other books just at the back there. He's available for autograph, so in case you want your book autograph, it will be done for you. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time T, point P, moment M. Thank you for a beautiful evening. The book is 20,000 naira only, so grab your copy. Good evening.